guys, it's Nathan Birch here from Binvested.com.au, and I'm here today to talk to you about the questions and answers asked from Facebook. And if you want to be a part of the community, join the link below. On the link below is a Facebook page where we have lots of questions, lots of information and cool resources that we talk about on a daily basis to help you maximise your investing returns. Today we've got a question, and the question is from Debbie Carlisle. The question says, how did you transition from being in a job to being a full-time and sustainable property investor? Was there a particular financial goal or benchmark that you had identified that you needed to reach? And I appreciate you sending through that question to us today, Debbie. From that perspective, it's a good question. I had some goals when I first started investing, and a part of my planning was that I would earn $50,000 a year passive income before I got out of bed. And being an 18-year-old kid, I was on $40,000 a year, $35,000 a year on my first job, went to $40,000, and to get 50 grand, I thought that in 2002, 2003 was a good benchmark of an income and a wage. I thought it was just above average wage, and nowadays it's probably just below. And that was my benchmark, and I thought, how could I get to that point so I didn't have to go to work? I could sit in bed all day, do whatever, it doesn't matter, because I know that I'm going to be able to cover all my lifestyle expenses and be able to live life on my terms. If I wanted to go get a job, I could. If I wanted to go to the beach, I could do whatever I wanted to do. And for me, the holy grail was to get to that $50,000 per year, and that was my benchmark. So it's important to work backwards and go, okay, if I want to get to $50,000 per year income, what do I need to get to achieve that? And what I mean by that is, let's break it down a little bit further and say, if a property is neutral cash flow today, and you buy one property as neutral cash flow, the property may be neutral cash flow today, but in 2 years' time, you can make it positive by $50 per week. Just by a little bit of renovation, cosmetic upgrade, whatever the case may be. And that's $2,500 per year in your pocket for doing nothing. If I had 10 of those properties and I got $50 per week passive income, that's $25,000 per year. If I had a property that was renting for $300 per week, I could work out a way to get that property unencumbered without having a mortgage on it. That would be $15,600 in my pocket. So if I had 4 of those properties that were bringing in $15,000 per year, I'd have $60,000 passive income coming through, and I'd have about $10,000 worth of expenses. I would have to pay for council rates, water rates, all that sort of stuff. So it's very important to work out, if I'm trying to get an X amount of figure, look at the end goal, look at what you're trying to achieve, and then work backwards. For me, leaving my job, there was no confetti falling out of the ceiling and say, look, you're able to leave your job now. I didn't feel comfortable even leaving my job at that point. But the day I decided to quit my job was the day I was in the bathroom mirror and I was brushing my teeth, and I was thinking to myself, this is like Groundhog Day. I'm sick and tired of looking at myself in the mirror. This is not the way I wanted my life to live. I'm in a position to be able to structure my life and change the portfolio that I've got. I had my foundation portfolio. I always talk about foundation portfolio because that's important to have that foundation in place, and then you can do the fun stuff on top. So my foundation portfolio consisted of about a dozen properties, which were all in the Sydney metro sort of area. They were bringing in a neutral cash flow at start, and then from that they became a positive by about $30,000 per year. That's when I quit my job. I had $30,000 passive income. I realised it would pay for petrol, it would pay for food on the table, it would pay for my phone bill, it would pay for basic living expenses. What can I do on top of that? Now there's a bit of misinformation that people have got as just a perception of myself, because before that point I didn't even have a video camera. I started YouTubing videos of me doing renovation properties in regional areas at that point because I got myself a video camera. The property portfolio as a foundation portfolio was built in Sydney in good quality properties. They were just cheap, bread and butter sort of properties where I made good equity in them. I had good equity gains, I had good net worth position, and they were good cash flow as well. So they were positive cash flow in Sydney. So people say they're unachievable and you can't buy them out there. I'm still buying them in 2013. From that position, I went out and had $30,000 per year passive income. I had a good chunk of equity. I had about $200,000 in a line of credit, and I went out and bought some properties. And I thought, if I could just buy one property a year, and that property was if I was to sell that property, I would make $50,000. That's $50,000 profit from one property. $30,000 passive cash flow coming from those properties that I'd built as my foundation portfolio. They give me 80 grand a year. For me, that was good. However, as I started buying properties, I did some renovations to them and I decided I don't like selling properties. And for me personally, I've only sold about 5 properties in my whole investing career over the last 10 years, 9 years, whatever it's been. From that perspective, those properties that I bought them really, really well. They were regional properties, they were higher risk properties, like very high risk, but I had my foundation portfolio in place and that was paying for my bills and I could play around with a bit of fun stuff there. The thing is with that, is that those things then brought in another, say, $30,000 worth of positive cash flow. So I was at $60,000 positive cash flow. I had these properties that were bought from a line of credit and they were owned outright. Like I had about 5 properties that were owned cash outright worth about $500,000. I'd made equity, if I sold them I'd make a profit, and that was how I structured myself and pushed myself out of the workforce. If I was to do things again, I'd probably do it slightly different, but as a result, very, very happy with the position I'm in. Current cash flow position is about $200,000 per year passive income after all expenses, and that gives me the freedom to do what I want, whether it mean me sitting here talking on YouTube to everyone and answering your questions, whether it be me going to the beach when I want, whether it be me going out and buying a cool sports car because I feel like it. And for you, you should build your property portfolio around your lifestyle. You should make it something that is going to help you get to your goals and what you want to achieve, and work out backwards. If your goal is to get X amount of dollars, it could be $100,000, it could be $250,000 per year. Work out what that is, work out backwards what properties do I need to achieve, and then go out and buy them. That's basically what it is. So if there's any further questions, you can email the address below and or post on the community, which is the Facebook link below. And appreciate your time. Thanks for the question, Debbie, and we'll catch up shortly.